everyone. Welcome back. Please comment, subscribe, folks. Comment, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watching, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen, folks, there's a link tree down below. Has the links to all of my social media platforms. Please go down there. Follow me across all my social media platforms and talk to me because I talk back. Also down there as well as links to all of my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages, and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks be in the know. Listen, folks, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I'll be doing a live radio show right here on this channel. We'll be talking about the Jets. We'll be talking about upcoming games. We'll be discussing it all. Call in. I take live callers. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. So with that said and done and put to the side, I've come to talk to you folks today about Nathaniel Hackett, boy. Nathaniel Hackett, Jets offensive coordinator, had a meeting with the media today. He had a little bit of a press conference. And he talked about some things, man. He talked about some things about the past game against Dallas. And he had a quote during this meeting that really made me wonder, okay? It really made me wonder, and I want to get into it. Now, he talked about various other things, right? He talked about Zach Wilson. We'll get into that a little bit later. Talked about Breece Hall. We know that Breece Hall wasn't the most excited about his lack of carries in the game against the Cowboys. He also, spoke about various other things. But something that really hit the ticker is when he spoke about Micah Parsons, okay? We all know Micah is the Cowboys' best defensive player. Some people argue he's the best defensive player in all of the league, which clearly that could be, disputed or true or whatever. He clearly is one of the best, easily, right? Some people argue he may be the best football player, period, in the league. Some people argue that, but he is a monster, okay, nonetheless. And we all know that, right? We knew that going into the game against the Cowboys. It was like, listen, they got some weapons on their defensive front. We know about D-Law. We know about other guy. But this guy Parsons, this guy Micah, we can't let him go off. We can't let that happen. Well, he had quite a game against the Jets, right? 2 sacks. I mean, he recovered a fumble. I'm telling you, he was living in the Jets' backfield. He had so much impact rushing the passer. Even when he wasn't getting home, he was creating so much pressure and disrupting so many things. It made it really tough. And it was really confusing, right? As we watched the game together, it was really confusing to see how the New York Jets were trying to deal with him. Often he was singled up on Dwayne Brown, which he made Dwayne Brown, man, he made him look crazy. And it just seemed like there was a lot of things schematically that the Jets should have been doing that they weren't. And so today, Nathaniel Hackett sits down with the press and they ask him a question about his handling of Micah Parsons and what he thought about him. And, the game plan as well, offensively against Parsons, why it looked a certain way. And I want to let you guys listen to the audio of what he had to say because this kind of threw me through a little bit of a loop, okay? Here's the audio of Hackett answering the question.
From our standpoint, it looks like, there was a lot of single coverage or single blocking on Parsons. Can you just walk us through what the plan was with him and why, obviously, you guys weren't able to contain him?
He's a very, very good football player. I give them tons of credit for their plan. They put him all over the place. They put him in the middle. They put him on the outside. They do a great job because you never know exactly where he's going to be. We had a lot of different hands we wanted to put on him. That was something when I was here last week. That's what we told you we wanted to do. I think as the game kind of got out of hand and you get into more passing situations, you need to get more guys out at times. You want to try to get some easy, quick completions. We started off by trying to get the quick game, and we even underestimated his speed on the quick game. I mean, he is spectacular, and it's somebody that you have to really look back and say, can you even do that? So it's one of those things. We looked at the tape, we corrected it, and saw how we can help ourselves out with that.
Okay. okay, right? I made sure, okay, that I took the time to truly listen, and I'm so confused on how you can underestimate Micah Parsons, even in a quick game. How do you underestimate the type of impact that he'll have in a game like this? And a lot of people, some people were like, well, it's just coach speak, and he was just saying, no, that's not coach speak, because if you look at the game plan, right? If you look at what we tried to do against the Cowboys offensively, you can see that, yeah, they did underestimate him. Because look, when you look at this situation, Micah's a guy that you must eliminate if you truly want to have success against the Cowboys defense, right? Offensively. There should have never been a down where he wasn't identified and doubled. Never. There should have never been a down, right, where there wasn't a back helping to chip if he was out on the edge, where mostly he was out on the edge. There should have been a back out there chipping. There should have been one of our tight ends. Jeremy Ruckert has been phenomenal blocking. C.J. Uzomah, Tyler Conklin. Somebody should have been out there helping Dwayne Brown. He should have never been singled up on Micah Parsons, ever. That never should have happened, right? So when you allow a guy to do so much and cause so much disruption and live in your backfield, how do you plan to have offensive success if you do not eliminate the best player that they have? Make them beat you with somebody else. Make them beat you with D-Law. If D-Law is just getting home and he's called, okay, cool, right? And make them beat you with Osa. Oh, yeah, if he's doing this, somebody, make them beat you with somebody else and not Micah Parsons, especially when you look at our situation along our offensive line, who we know has struggled, right? Offensive line struggled week 1 against the Bills in pass protection, struggled in pass protection, right? And then they come this week and they struggled in pass protection this week too. We didn't run the ball particularly well either. Nathaniel Hackett talked about that. He talked about Breece Hall, media action about Breece Hall not being excited about only getting 4 carries. And he can kind of just chalk that up to not having enough plays, not having enough time. I thought we could have ran the ball a little bit more and more effectively, especially with Breece Hall. Breece Hall should have got way more carries than just 4 carries. I think he only had like 9 yards on the day. He also spoke about Mecole Hardman as well, which is crazy that Mecole Hardman is a guy to this point who, when we brought him, we were so excited about Mecole because of what he brought to the offense. The speed, the explosion, the guy that could take the top off the defense, the weapon, the threat that Mecole Hardman is. He has yet to really be utilized correctly within the offense whatsoever. I think the last game against the Cowboys, he had 1 catch for 6 yards. That's crazy. And he just kind of chalked it up to just not enough plays again. Not enough plays. You just couldn't get the ball back. We're not getting them. And it's like, hey, man, listen. And I really like Nathaniel Hackett. Everyone knows that. When he was brought in as our offensive coordinator, I was excited. I know a lot of people were screaming, well, he's just Aaron Rodgers' friend. I believe that he's a lot more than that. I think that Nathaniel Hackett is a good offensive coordinator in this league. I just think that his game planning against the Cowboys wasn't very good. I think the game plan was not very good to match up against the Cowboys. And I understand the Jets only had the ball, 17 minutes this game, but there was things that we could have utilized, some of the personnel packages, some of the ways that he put guys out on that field. It could have been a lot better than what it was. And again, allowing Micah to just do his thing was wild in itself. That is really what cut down a lot of our plays too, because we couldn't get any type of offensive momentum especially after the second half, right? After the first half, excuse me. So when you look at Zach Wilson as well, he spoke a little bit about Zach Wilson. There's been a lot of people trying to trash Zach Wilson. There's been a lot of people trying to trash Zach Wilson, say he was awful and things like that. And I want to put the brakes to that. Zach Wilson was not bad against the Cowboys. He wasn't. Yeah, he threw 3 interceptions, but the game was out of reach at that point. He was just trying to make a play, and to be completely honest, outside of maybe the first one, right, where he should have just thrown it out of bounds, he was trying to get the ball down the field along the right sidelines. Outside of that, man, those 2 other interceptions, those are balls that could have been caught. Especially the one that went to Garrett Wilson where he just kind of leaned back and fell into a corner instead of jumping up to go and get it. He threw another one to a running back. I think it was Michael Carter, where it looked like Michael Carter really could have reached out for that and didn't get it. So even those interceptions, it's like those were balls I felt like somebody could have made a play on those footballs, right? Outside of that, though, the 3 interceptions, that was late in the game, right, in the 4th quarter. But for the first 3 quarters, Zach Wilson looked really good. His pocket presence, even though he was pressured, and he was pressured a lot in that game. He was pressured a lot. We saw him move up. We saw him slide away from pressure. We saw him be able to keep his eyes down the field and not stare at the rush. You're seeing the growth of Zach Wilson. Was he perfect? No, he was not perfect at all. But he was looking good out there, and he was making plays. The loss to the Cowboys is not on him. It's not on him at all. And even Nathaniel Hackett talked about that. So Man, it's crazy. It's just crazy, and I'm just hoping that, again, this game is in the past. Cowboys are a really good football team. We lost. I know that there's a lot of people out there that are trying to trash the Jets. We're 1-1. We're not 1-14 or 1-15 or something. We're 1-1 at this point, and we're going to continue to go forward. So I'm excited about the Jets' future. We just got to pick it up, step it up, and keep it going. Nathaniel Hackett has to have a better offensive game plan for the game that we got coming up. So comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. How do you folks feel about what you heard from Nathaniel Hackett about underestimating Micah Parsons' impact in the quick game, or underestimating Micah Parsons, period? What are your thoughts about Breece Hall only getting 4 carries? And how do you feel about people bashing Zach Wilson, trying to blame the loss to the Cowboys on him? Comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. You folks have a good one. Peace.